Browns back at it here in Berea on a rainy day as they will head to New England to face the Patriots on Sunday, and that means, of course, old friend Mike Vrabel, who was a consultant in this building last year after he was fired from Tennessee. Now he's the head coach of the New England Patriots, and Mary Kay, he said today, this is the best defense the Patriots have faced so far.
Well, that's right, and I believe him because I've looked back at some of the games these Patriots have played so far to get to 5-2, and there are a lot of losing and poor football teams on that list. Now, they've played some good ones, but I really don't think they've played a defense like these Cleveland Browns. Everybody talks about how horrible the Dolphins' offense looked. I think the Browns had something to do with that. Again, those 3 takeaways on defense and then 1 on special teams. So I do think that Drake Maye might be seeing something that he hasn't felt before.
Yeah, Ashley, we're about to go into week 8 here, and I don't think we've seen a bad defensive performance from this team yet. Obviously, they gave up that drive against Minnesota, and there's been some hiccups here and there, but I don't think we've seen a bad defensive performance to this point.
Yeah, it really is just, to me, that drive in Minnesota, that final drive, and that's what this defense wants, right? They want to be on the field in that situation. So that, to me, is their worst moment. They've rebounded from it. Now we're seeing them take the football away. More importantly, they got 4 takeaways. They doubled their season total against the Dolphins, really took advantage. So now I think the question is, can those takeaways continue to come? Like, have they hit their stride with taking the ball away?
Now, one of the guys who has performed really well on that defense is Grant Delpit, but he was awarded for another phase today. He was named the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Of course, the big play was that punch out on the kickoff return that helped set up a Browns score. Mary Kay, Grant Delpit just continuing to perform at a high level, kind of finally delivering on that promise, I think, that the Browns and even he has been waiting for since he got here.
That's right. And remember, he ruptured his Achilles in his rookie year in training camp. So he had that big setback and has had to battle his way back from that. But I also wrote a column this week saying that I think he's playing at an all-pro level. Definitely Pro Bowl, but I think also all-pro. So we'll see how that goes. If he keeps it up like this, I think he can get there. It was nice to see him get some recognition for that game because he did so many things in that game, including getting a sack and then also hitting Tua to cause an interception.
Yeah, and he's been playing all over the field, Ashley. He's been playing deep. He's been playing in the box. He's been playing slot. He's just lined up everywhere for Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, he really has, and I think he got to show off that versatility on Sunday against the Dolphins just because Jim Schwartz was playing, that game plan was so aggressive. And he told Grant Delpit, be ready for like 5 to 10 blitz opportunities. Grant knew it was coming, and he was ready. So I know after the game, Grant was the one who even said it's time to go to New England and not face the Patriots, but face Braves. That was his, I think, exact quote after the game. So these guys are still fired up to see an old friend.
Now, a little Shedeur Sanders update. Of course, we know when Dillon Gabriel was the backup quarterback, he was still getting some first-team reps. That is not happening with Shedeur Sanders. Dillon Gabriel is getting all the first-team reps. Shedeur Sanders is not getting any first-team reps. That's not abnormal, Mary Kay, just in a normal situation where maybe there isn't a rookie who kind of needs those reps. But in this case, it was just, I don't know. Kevin explained it. You lay it out for us.
Well, when Joe Flacco was the starting quarterback, Dillon was getting the normal amount of QB2 reps, which is usually 1 or 2 snaps every drill. It's not a lot, generally. But right now, with Dillon needing all the help that he can get, all the time on task that he can possibly get with this young and struggling offense, Shedeur's not getting any. But it set up a little bit of a red flag because everything does with Shedeur Sanders. I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about. He's getting plenty of reps in other drills. He's getting separate field reps. He's getting after practice reps. And then, of course, he's also going to nearby Baldwin-Wallace University and getting reps on Friday afternoons on his own with some college players.
Yeah, Ashley, this just sort of speaks to, like, nothing is normal with Shedeur Sanders. Maybe not his fault, but we just know no matter what it is, nothing is going to be normal when it comes to Shedeur.
No, nothing really is. But again, I think when Kevin said this initially today when he got asked about it, it wasn't that surprising, just given the situation. And I think it's obvious when you have a guy like Joe Flacco, who's such a vet, you don't need him taking all those reps in practice. His body probably doesn't want him taking all of those reps in practice. So those handful that Dillon Gabriel was getting to, mix things up or give Flacco a little bit of a break or whatever the case may have been. That's more understandable than a rookie QB who's now only started 3 games. You need him to get as many reps as possible.
Now, on the injury front, the Browns are pretty healthy considering where we are in this season. Aiden Huntington didn't practice today. He remains in the concussion protocol. Jack Conklin is out of the concussion protocol, and David Njoku was back at practice as the Browns monitor that knee injury. Kevin Stefanski just calling him day-to-day, as he always does, Mary Kay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I did catch up with David at an event last Friday, and he did say that he plans on being back out there this week. That will help these guys so much against this Mike Vrabel defense. They're going to need to attack the middle, all areas of the field. But when you just have a big guy like Dave in there helping to block and helping with those tackles, it will really help.
And especially against this Patriots run defense that has been very good. They need all the help they can get to kind of keep that run game going as teams stack the box against Quinshon Judkins. So, Ashley, I know that David Njoku probably wants to get out there and go against a Mike Vrabel team, given all the contact we saw between those guys during practices last season.
Yeah, you'd constantly see Mike Vrabel over there working with the O-line eventually, but also the tight ends, going through blocking drills. He would get that big pad out, and he and David Njoku would be going at it. But, yeah, I think the Browns are really going to need David for his run blocking, especially this Patriots defense, the number 3 run defense in terms of total yards allowed, in terms of yards per play. And they have yet to relinquish 50 rushing yards to any individual back. So quite a streak they are on. I read in their notes that's the first time in franchise history that this has happened for them.
That's pretty impressive for a New England team that has been so good on defense going back to those early Bill Belichick years in the early 2000s. All right, we'll cover everything that happened here as the Browns get ready for their trip to Foxborough at cleveland.com/Browns.